Hello, welcome. My name is Void and I like to read silly little stories that I find on Reddit for your listening pleasures. So today we're going to be taking a little dive into r/stories about Kevin again. No, this isn't Kevin in a Big Rig. I have been asked multiple times to read the Kevin in a Big Rig and I am going to get round to it, but apparently it's hella long, so you guys tell me. So I need to kind of plan out when I'm going to do that little chunk of stories. So, but I will get round to it. Promise. So, if that sounds like something you'd be interested in listening to with me today, then please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. Ooh, this one's a long one to start with. This one was posted by LegoManiac89 and the title says, "My boss's stepson is a Kevin to end all Kevins." Okay, I am ready. So, just over a year ago, I switched jobs and went to work for a guy, Bob, who is running a new, used aquarium shop. The shop was built onto his house, so as a result, I've become pretty close with his family, including his 15-year-old stepson, who is the most Kevin person I've ever met. For the first couple of months, I thought he was just a bit quirky and clumsy, but as I've come to know him more, I've discovered that he is a Kevin of the highest order. Now, I've known some dumb teenagers in my time, hell, I used to be one, but this kid is just on another level. Just in the year that I've known him, he licked a lit match because he thought fire would taste like a flaming hot Cheeto. He cannot climb a flight of stairs without tripping up them. This is a multiple times a day occurrence. He once dropped a bowl of cereal and milk, and rather than clean the mess with a towel, he soaked up the spill with his sock. A sock that was still on his foot. He then put on his shoes, went out to catch the bus, and went to school with, with a soaking wet milk sock. Oh, no. He went to the school nurse that day because he was convinced that his foot was bleeding and soaking through his sock. He wants to be the first pro-Trump rapper and is currently pissed off at Kanye for stealing his idea. No! He's failing gym class. I have no idea how one fails gym class. You haven't met me. I am terrible at sports. Terrible! He has broken more than 20 aquariums in the last year. When we buy used tanks, they need washed and leak testing before we resell them. Kevin sometimes does this to help out, but can't understand that when you wrap the hose around an aquarium, you can't just yank it free. Oh my goodness. For reference, I've been in the aquarium hobby for 12 years and I've broken 2. He's not allowed to clean tanks anymore. Bob was selling an older, fairly good condition Cadillac that had been sitting in his driveway for a while. The day before the buyer came to pick it up, Kevin was mowing the yard and scraped the handle of the mower along the entire length of one side of the car. He likes to use that word as an insult. Now, I know that it can be used in a non-insulting way, but because the word's being used in an insulting way, I'm not going to say it. To be on the safe side, because I genuinely don't know, actually, if it's just purely insulting now. I have no idea. When I called him out on it, I discovered that he thought that Jewish people didn't actually exist. He thought that they were an imaginary race of people that everyone pretended to hate. What? Oh my goodness. Wow. He played lacrosse on his school team this summer and got benched all season because he told the coach that he didn't need to run laps or go to practice. This is probably why he's failing gym class. Yes. He left in the morning like normal to go and catch the bus. 3 hours later, he came back saying that he missed the bus and he needed to be driven to school. The problem? It was Labour Day. There was no school. He stood at the bus stop for 3 hours on a day when there was no school. To be fair, when I was a teenager, I remember walking all the way to school one day and to find that school was closed. So yeah, I'm not going to judge him too harshly on that one. He eats absolutely everything in sight. If you leave food unattended for more than 10 seconds, it's gone. Bob went to Taco Bell and got food for the 4 of us. Kevin was left alone with it and ate his, mine, Bob's, and half of his mum's food before he realised that it probably wasn't all for him. Oh my goodness. When he found out that I'm a chili head? Childhead? I actually am not sure how to pronounce that. He bragged for a week about how he loved super spicy food too. He then tried a glob of my ex-Haresco after I warned him repeatedly not to. I am butchering these words, I just know it, and I am so sorry. And spent the next 2 hours crying and blaming me. We've been gradually remodeling the house when we're not working in the store. Kevin's bedroom was the first room we finished. He managed to put a hole in the wall on the first day he moved in. One day, completely out of the blue, he asked me, I know girls don't have a penis, but is there just like a hole beneath their belly button where a penis would be? Bob told Kevin to wash the truck one day earlier this year. Kevin thought he'd be helpful and wash out the fuel tank. Oh my as well with water. Mate, I don't even drive. And I know you're not supposed to do that. His school lets him rent a tablet for schoolwork. He got it taken away within a week because he was using it for porn. I assume he wanted to find out if girls had a hole where a penis would be. His parents signed him up for tutoring to help with his grades. Turns out all the tutoring in the world won't help your grades if you never turn in your homework. He was under the impression that homework was optional. Also, he routinely falls asleep in class. He thought that fish were just very active plants. Yes, really. To be fair, when I used to have tarantulas, I used to joke that they are literally like having pet dirt. Because a lot of them, especially the terrestrial species, will just dig in a little tunnel and you will never see them apart from when you fill up their water and they come out with a rage like no other, because how dare you fill up their dry, dusty water bowl? He managed to tip over and dump the contents of the trash can he was taking out to the roadside to be picked up. Rather than pick up the mess, he just kicked it around and spread it across the yard in the hopes that it would be less noticeable if the mess was less concentrated. I know there's more I'm forgetting, and I'll edit this post as I remember them or as Kevin gives me more material. Oh my goodness. That guy would frustrate the hell out of me, honestly, if I had to work with him, / live with him, or parent him even. He would drive me nuts. I'll just leave you with this tidbit. Kevin starts driving in 3 months. May the gods have mercy on us all. Oh no. Edit number 1. To everyone wondering if Kevin has some kind of undiagnosed mental health issues, I suppose it's possible, but it seems more like just a severe lack of common sense than anything else. I've never met his biological dad, but from what I've learned from his mum, he's one of those people who is habitually unemployed, yet spends all day bitching about how immigrants and minorities are a drain on society. Wow. I hate people like that, I must say. Absolutely hate it. I'm hoping Kevin will eventually grow out of his Kevinness and not follow in his dad's footsteps. Edit number 2, November 10th, 2018. A couple more. One just happened this week. The other apparently happened a couple months ago, and Bob just told me about it. Kevin decided that he was going to practice his blacksmithing by removing the leaf catcher bag from the lawnmower and bending the shit out of the metal frame. He then realised after the fact that he was probably going to get in trouble for ruining the leaf catcher, so he decided to burn the bag and throw the frame in the trash. Bob found out, and of course Kevin spent the last weekend complaining about how tedious it is to manually rake up the leaves out of the yard. Kevin discovered that you can take things apart with a screwdriver and decided to disassemble the blender with his newfound knowledge. He took the entire thing apart and had no idea how to put it back together again, so he left the pieces all over the counter. When his parents asked him why he did it, he first denied that it was him, and then claimed that the blender just randomly fell apart for no reason. It combusted, I swear. They don't make them like they used to. They're just not as sturdy these days, eh, Kevin? Edit number 3, April 12th, 2019. This person is doing their due diligence to keep us informed on Kevin. Since this is getting a bit of attention today, here's an update on how Kevin's 2019 has been so far. Kevin has not started driving yet. Thank the gods. Seriously. And he likely won't for at least another year. Bob bought him an old Jeep that needed repairs before it was drivable, and Kevin managed to knock one of the side mirrors off with his bicycle. I have no idea how. Kevin has decided to start writing a fantasy novel, and in a moment of weakness, I volunteered to be his beta reader. He then told me that it's going to be an erotic orc fiction with swords. I just had a flash of that post about Ogther in my head from the description of an erotic orc fiction, and I don't know why, and I hate that my brain works this way. He was making a grilled cheese sandwich and decided to experiment and put peanut butter on it. He burnt the peanut butter, set the smoke alarm off, ate half of it, gagged, threw it in the trash, then dug it out of the trash and ate the rest. Ew, Kevin. Kevin's going to be patient zero when the zombie apocalypse happens. You watch. He isn't allowed to have a cell phone because he is still failing a number of classes and he is too easily distracted by technology. So he's been going to Walmart and buying the cheapest phone that they have and hiding it from his parents. The problem is that he hides it in his pocket and doesn't know how to silence ringtones. He's had at least 3 phones taken away from him. He got a blunt from one of his friends at school, smoked it, and then told his parents that the smell was his new cologne. Update February 25th, 2025. Alright y'all, this is a final update for Kevin. I still get messages weekly asking for more. Unfortunately, this is going to be underwhelming for most of you. I'm no longer at this job and haven't been for some time. A few years back, Kevin moved out, so a lot of stories dried up since he wasn't around at all. But here's what I know. He's totaled at least 7 vehicles that I'm aware of. For God's sake, who gave him a license? Who did that? They need putting in prison. The actual number is probably higher. He got his license suspended at one point for reckless driving. He started a job on a line in a factory and got fired within a month because he thought the work was too difficult and kept passing it off to other co-workers. Since he absolutely cannot be trusted to survive alone, he's been bunking with co-workers, friends, and anyone else who can tolerate him. I know one roommate kicked him out because Kevin is such a slob. His boss, who is also the dad of a friend of his, offered him a room to stay in with disgustingly cheap rent. Kevin declined the offer because apparently he didn't want to live with adults. Keep in mind that Kevin is 22 or 23 now. That's all I've got. I have no contact with him anymore, and I don't intend to reconnect because simply rereading these old stories of mine makes me lose what little faith I have left in humanity as a species. Understandable? So down in the comments, BB Reland says his dad owns an aquarium shop and he thinks that fish are just very active plants. My husband and I have an 120-gallon saltwater tank and everything has made me cringe so far. He broke 20 of them? OP says his exact question was, so what are fish? Some kind of plant or something? I laughed. And then I realised he was genuinely asking. And then BB Reland replies to that saying, this hurt my head. I'm going to go stare at my tank full of plants. Next post, posted by Laser Moon Centaur. I fired Kevin after 1 day of amazing stupidity. Originally posted on r/AskReddit and someone suggested I posted it here. Probably one of the stupidest people I've ever met. He was a 26-year-old male and turned up an hour and a half late for the first day. He was brought in by his mum, which I thought was kind of odd for a grown man. I let that slide, but then things got worse. It was a small roadside cafe/eatery, so I thought I'd get him started on small duties to ease him into the way of the place. I asked him to put new toilet paper in the toilets. A minute or so later, I hear him yelling, "OP! It won't fit on the toilet roll holder!" I'm like, what? That's a pretty simple thing. He calls out again, so I tell him to bring it to me so I can show him. He's carrying He's carrying a roll of paper towel. It's almost 3 times the length of the toilet paper holder. Kevin, I say, that is paper towel. Yeah, and you do not want to be wiping your bits and bobs with paper towel, by the way. No, no. I ran out of roll a little while back, and I couldn't get any at the shop either. This may have even been during the plague times, actually. So I'd had loads of kitchen roll for some reason. Must have been hoarding it, I don't know. But I had like 6 rolls underneath the sink. So I had to go and get some kitchen roll. Oh my goodness, that is discomfort like I've never felt before. Kevin says, no, it's not. Yes, it is. Have you ever seen toilet paper that big in your life? No. Right. Furthermore, and probably more perplexing, can you not see that this massive roll couldn't possibly fit on this small bar? Yeah, I thought that was odd. Oh boy. Well, the day goes on, and after the kitchen is pretty much closed, except for pre-cooked baked goods, I get him to give a general clean and ask to make sure that he wipes down all the benches. I leave him to it as I assume he's doing fine. Wrong? Ong? I don't know. I have no idea. One of the other staff comes and says that we've run out of toilet paper, and I'm like, what? That's not possible. Surely enough, all the packs are torn open and empty except for the rolls on the holder. At this stage, I realise there can only be one culprit and call Kevin over. Did you do something with the toilet paper? What the fuck with this guy and toilet paper? Yeah, I used it to wipe down the benches in the kitchen. You used 8 rolls of toilet paper to wipe down the benches in the kitchen. Why are you using toilet paper to wipe down benches? I don't like using the dishcloths. Who taught you to wipe down benches with toilet paper? Have you ever seen anyone wipe down benches with toilet paper? The cloth was dirty and I didn't want to clean it out. Oh my god. I'd have thrown that toilet paper right at him and all. By this stage, I'm thinking the day's nearly over. Just let it go and I'm sure it will work out fine. Famous last words. Yeah, you know what's coming. Kevin strikes again, and this time, it's beyond moronic. So, I've got him on serving customers pastries and the like because all you have to do is take it out of the glass bay, put it on a plate and give it to them. He doesn't even have to ring it up, just pop on plate and give. Well, one of the customers orders 3 scones with jam and cream. He's behind the counter doing his thing and I have a little peek and see, yes, he's cut them in half and managed to put the jam and cream on them. About a minute later, the customer brings the scones back up to the counter. There's something really hard in the scones. I bit down and it was like crunching on a rock or something. Of course, I'm puzzled. Oh, I'm really sorry about that. When Kevin cuts in, it's probably just the seeds and the jam. Now, there's something about the way that he says this that makes my alarm bells ring. Show me what you put on these scones. And I start marching towards the prep bench. Sitting on the bench is the bowl of whipped cream, and next to it, in a plastic bag, is a broken glass jar which contains the jam. The is feeding the customer broken glass. I didn't think it would be a big deal. Are you insane? I grab the plate of mostly uneaten glass-infused scones. How is anyone supposed to eat this? To my utter amazement, he proceeds to eat them in front of me, all while the crunch— oh, this is making me cringe. Oh no. All the while crunching on glass and flinching every time he does. I'm paralysed, dumbfounded. When he finishes eating them, he says, "Do you think that I should go to the hospital?" You're fired. Edit, it's not a Bay Marine. So down in the comments, a deleted user says, this falls onto the category of how the did he make it out of his front door? And then Lackey98 says, how the did he make it out of the womb? And then Ayan says, same way he got to work, his mum had to drag him out there. So this next post comes from Throw or A. Sensible Sam and Kevin. Long-time lurker, first-time poster, throwaway account on mobile, no one cares. This is about a Kevin in my program at college. She was actually a pretty mediocre kid, mostly for the first few years. She scraped by in classes, had a few friends, and more than a few moments of pure, unadulterated Kevinness. Several highlights include jumping off a 2-story roof to see what would happen, a complete inability to comprehend the difference between ice cream and gelato despite many attempts to explain it to her, and drinking an unspecified amount of espresso and spent the better part of an hour literally running in circles around the architecture building to burn off the energy. I mean, come on, how many of us haven't done that, accidentally drank a little bit too much coffee and then been buzzing the rest of the day? I know I, for one, have certainly done that many times. At one point, a boy about a year ahead of Kevin in the programme took an interest in her. Let's call him Sensible Sam, or SS for short. SS and Kevin set up a date at a nice place just off campus. Kevin got understandably nervous before the date. Kevin's panic response was to drink an entire large milkshake immediately prior to meeting SS. Kevin is lactose intolerant. Kevin threw up. For some godforsaken reason, SS kept dating her. They actually fell head over heels for each other and stayed together for years, despite the fact that Kevin suggested a lovely little downtown place for dinner, got horribly lost and could find neither the restaurant nor the way back to campus, has lived in this town for years, accidentally claimed to be single just after her and SS's 1-year anniversary. How do you accidentally claim to be single? I am intrigued. Decided the minor side effect of her morning ADHD meds were not worth dealing with all day, so she started taking them at night. Her ADHD meds are effective for about 6 hours after being taken. She was almost entirely useless until she went to refill a prescription and her doctor told her what an idiot she is. Asked SS to spell his last name is 4 letters. They had been dating for months at this point. Found a way onto the roof of the art building, was not immune to getting into trouble after putting pictures on her Snapchat story instead of a group chat. Forgot her shoes on the walk of shame. Twice! Tried to take SS to meet her parents, somehow drove to the wrong state, signed up for a class, forgot about it for the entire semester, failed because she never showed up. SS proposed a week ago. Still don't know why he deals with my dumbass. I got lucky, y'all. Wait! Are you the Kevin? Wait a minute. I am confused. Oh my goodness. What a twist. OP. You got me. You got me good. That's so funny. So down in the comments, Gum Thief says, this is one of the best Kevin stories I've ever read. And then Silent Bunny 95 says, damn it, this is cute. He sounds like a keeper if he sticks with you through all of that. And then Silly Squid TV says, honestly, I'm a guy who would stick with that relationship to see what debacle would happen next. I am still absolutely shocked that it was the OP typing all along. And I applaud their honesty, honestly, because, I mean, that's amazing. And I hope her and SS have a fantastic and hopefully non-eventful life now. Hopefully SS can have a little reprieve now that the OP is older and clearly more aware of their actions. Okay, so I think that's all we've got time for today. If you made it all the way to the end with me, then I appreciate you very, very much. If you give a little like, subscribe, notifications on, don't forget to leave your offering of a comment to the algorithm gods. They are watching. And that'll be your initiation into the Coven of Void. Welcome. Whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. Goodbye.